Hey, Russ here. You guys have been asking a lot of questions about batteries, so we figured to give you a little breakdown of kind of battery 101. A lot of these things actually apply regardless if it's lithium or not, and one of the big questions we've been getting is, what does group size mean? Regardless of lithium, AGM, wet cell, or whatever, that's the physical dimensions of that battery. So we've got an original kind of Dakota Lithium 100 amp here. This is like a group 31 size. 27 and 31 are actually very similar in physical actual size. And they have to really pay attention to that because we've got a newer kind of Gen 2, if you will, 135 amp hour battery here, Dakota Lithium, and it's actually smaller. It moves around a little bit even in a 24 group size. So that's, again, physical size. So amp hours is actually how long that battery is going to run. And it's a little different, when you're trying to compare amp hours from lithium to AGM and things like that. It's not necessarily apples to apples. Kind of any of you guys that have ever used a cordless drill, you know that the old school batteries, they'd start losing power maybe with 25% left. With the lithiums, you know that those go right to the end. So it's more usable hours, if that makes sense. But there's a different technology the way they're doing these things. So this 31 group size here, the original 100, actually is 100 amp hour. This is kind of an outdated thing for the most part. They actually have a new 100 now moving forward. But the 135 amp hour, you can see how much smaller it is. Still very lightweight, but way more capacity. And then there's also some features in there. So a lot of times when you're looking at these and you're comparing battery companies, it's definitely not apples to apples. Aside from the 11-year warranty that Dakota Lithium has, one of the biggest thing is some of the key features. Like this 135 is my favorite. I use this. I have 5 separate ones in my boat that I'm using for, starting now at this point, electronics, totally isolated, and then my trolling motor batteries, which is nice because all of these can interchange. If you carry an extra one with you or if you get in a pinch, you can swap those things around to get you home, get you out of trouble. But internally, there's a lot of differences here. So this 135 is actually rated by Mercury Marine. It's good to go as a cranking battery. Standalone house battery, whatever you want to call that. So that's a big deal because a lot of those batteries out there are not approved for use, and Mercury has given Dakota Lithium the blessing with this battery and the way that the ECM and things work inside this battery. The other thing is a lot of people don't realize, especially if you store your boat outside, maybe it's you're traveling, you're at a hotel, you're fishing early or late season, lithium batteries as a whole do not charge well at a core temperature or below freezing. So that can very easily happen as we're in an unheated barn, something happens to the heat in the barn, or again, like I said, we're traveling. So Dakota Lithium on the DL pluses, like this 135 here, have an internal element essentially, for lack of a better word. I don't think that's what they call it, but it will start and bring the core temperature of that battery up before it tries to charge. So you will actually get a full charge when you come back, or with other batteries that don't have that, you're just not going to get that battery charged. There are other manufacturers that require heating blankets and all these things. You can imagine, besides the cost, how that is kind of a pain in the butt. But pay attention as things going on, just like computers, because that's essentially what these things are with an ECM in them. They're getting smaller, but yet more capacity. So choose what works for you. Dakota Lithium's even got stuff that'll start your snow machines and things like that now, motorcycles and the whole gamut. So whether you're using something for your RV or your boat, Dakota Lithium's got you covered.